Before we start, this is a heads up to let you guys know that we use explicit language and content.
So, alright, so is this episode 4 or 5?
6.
6.
Episode 6.
I just need to have my 5.
Okay.
Episode 6.
Nice. Episode 6.
Alright, well, let's get started here. So my first question here is there such a thing as working too much? And if so, when do you know if it's too much?
I'm going to let you go first.
Yes. Yes, definitely. When do you know?
Mm-hmm.
When you can't sleep anymore because all you're thinking about is work. When you're having trouble waking up in the morning because you're so tired from all the work you've been doing. And you don't have time to go for a hike. Just once a week. Can't go to the gym anymore. Too busy. You're working too much, one way or another.
Sit down in a chair for 4 minutes and think about nothing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then you're working too much, and you should figure it out pretty quick because you're gonna feel it.
Mm-hmm. Or if there's an Egyptian standing behind you with a whip going, more brakes faster! That's a pretty good indicator. Old school, that well, technically, I guess that would be Old Testament, wouldn't it?
You're about to be working too much.
Yeah.
You're gonna feel it pretty quick. You're already teetering on it.
Mm-hmm.
You have been for the last couple months, and then
Couple
what you're
months?
doing right now, it's gonna definitely fall over the edge.
Well,
I understand
I
why.
feel like I've been pretty balanced the last couple of months.
Okay.
There's something to be said for working more to be working more. So if you sit on your ass in front of the computer and go, what am I going to do to make money? Guess what? You're never going to make any money. But if you go get even example that I use is the pizza job. When I signed up to deliver pizzas at Domino's in Marion, when I was going back to school on the first go-around, it was to get out of the house and not go stir crazy. And I like it because it's zero responsibility. My uncle for a while was a garbage man, and that's kind of where he was basically an Olympic level gymnast before he went into the Air Force and became second seat in a fighter plane. Okay. Well, he said, get a job like being a garbage man for a summer, and you don't have to think. You know, a gymnast is not going to have a hard time throwing trash bags, so why are you doing this? Because they don't have to think. And I'm still making money. And there's this, it's kind of a headspace where when you have a dirty job, like Mike Rowe evangelizes. I love his message. Absolutely love his message.
Have you heard of Mike Rowe?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. We
Oh,
listened
yeah.
to a TED Talk that he gave
Mm-hmm.
several weeks ago.
Listen to the Ben Shapiro Sunday special with Mike Rowe.
Yeah. Or him talking in front of Congress, addressing Congress. Oh, my God. Guy's brilliant. But he's spot on. You know, get dirt under your fingernails. Break a sweat. Go home nasty. Just for the experience. And that...
So crazy that his grandpa taught him that.
Yeah. I totally...
His backstory is just crazy.
Yeah. Interesting guy. And he was completely dissatisfied as an opera singer. Just because of the culture that he was in not fitting him and him not fitting the culture. Okay, fine. You know, he can do both. He can castrate lambs. He can help a guy on a hog farm that recycles the food from Vegas buffet leftovers. Or he can, you know, get up there with Pavarotti and hold his own. That's a man.
When you talk about a jack of all trades, that's Mike Rowe.
Well, yeah, and he's into mastery. He nails things, not just learns it and moves on. He nails it. So, again, there's a lesson to be learned from that. There's something to be said for that. But there's a balance. And I think, you know, if you have an 8-hour-a-day job and it's in an office, and you get 2, 3, 4 hour night job 3 nights a week, slinging pizzas or flipping burgers or, mixing concrete for, whatever, just to kind of supplement that, more for your hands than your wallet, more for your headspace than your wallet. That's cool and that's a good thing. Or maybe you go out into the garage like Nick Offerman has a shop in Hollywood. He has a wood shop in Hollywood. And when he's not working on his performing career, he goes out there and he works with his hands. And that kind of balances him out. When you hit the point of diminishing return on that satisfaction, if I put in another hour of labor, am I going to get that much happier? Or is it going to cost me some peace? Then you've tipped the scale. And that's when you need to cut back on when you're working. And, dial it back 2 hours a week and see where that gets you. 1 day a week, see where that gets you.
And if you're working too hard just to pay bills, too hard just to pay your bills and just to squeak by, you're never going to be happy.
Yeah.
So, my advice is, get a better job.
Yeah. And remember,
work less, get a better job. Make more money.
The history of the word job used to be gob, a gob of work. Like, hey, I have some work for you in that horse stable. Pile out that gob. That's your job today. Literally, here's your shovel, go shovel horse crap. And then they pronounced it with what we would enunciate a J with, and, it kind of caught on, and now you look at it as just over broke. So, the way to do it is generate an income, get your debts down, gone, preferably, down, and then whatever excess you have that you've been putting towards your debts, put into something that will generate its own income, like some sort of an investment in, whatever. Stock markets, gumball machines, lawnmower that you lease out to the little kid down the road, and you get half the money that he makes on, mowing lawns, whatever it is. And then whatever money's made from your investment, use to better your life. And the money that comes in from your job should cover your bills plus a certain amount. And whatever layer of income that you stop turning into more income, that's going to be, whatever layer you stop having to put in effort, that's going to be the layer at which you can begin to relax. So, notice I said lease out a lawnmower to somebody else so that they can go make money for you. If you have to go mow those lawns, that's more time out of your day, that's more work out of your back, that's more effort out of your hands, and that's not actually going to get you anywhere. And now you're back to your original question. Okay, if I put in an extra hour, is it going to improve my life, or am I going to just be working an extra hour? What you want to get to the point where you don't have to put in the extra hour, but you still get the reward, the benefit from the stock market, the investment. So work towards being the guy who owns the money that then goes out and enables people to make more money. Don't fall in love with the money, fall in love with helping other people, and you'll get a little back from that. If you do it enough, eventually that becomes your job, is helping other people. Then you're gravy.
Answer your question?
I believe so, yes.
Thank you for putting up with my 15-minute rant.
No, you're fine. It was only 10.
Oh,
I'm
nice.
just kidding.
9.5, Dan.
But earlier you were talking about balance, and that actually does bring me to my second question.
Mm-hmm.
So, how do you... So how do you balance, too little work and too much work? As you were saying, you need to balance out working to pay bills and, doing getting an income to get ahead.
Mm-hmm.
So as you're starting out the job to just pay the bills, how do you get to the point of where You're comfortable, but you're not too comfortable.
Comfort's overrated. Plant your field before you build your house is what I was taught. And what that means is do the work that's going to pay off later. Plant your field before you build your house, because you can plant the field now, and while that's churning out money and producing results, maybe it has not yet literally come to fruition, whatever. But while that's doing its own thing, rather than sit there and watch it and obsess, then you can go work on your own stuff. So get your hands dirty. Shovel out the horse stall, plant the corn, build somebody else's house, earn a paycheck. Go out and earn a paycheck. And then when your bills are covered, as soon as your bills are covered, you're working for yourself. That's when you keep your own to yourself. That's when it's kind of an odd crossover, but the build your house part is, literally building your own house for your own comfort, building your family, building your life. Go out and do the work, and then do the work of building your life. You can be uncomfortable for a little while. And if you just put your head down and do the grind as much as you can stomach, when you do check in every once in a while, when you do take a moment to catch your breath at, payday, and you go, oh my God, my bills are paid, this is awesome. And, I've been sleeping like a rock at night, and this is great because I only spent half of my income on bills. Okay, well, what do I do with my other half of my income? A lot of people go, well, I'll sit down and watch TV and let the advertisers tell me what I should spend my money on. The really intelligent people say, okay, what can I spend my money on that will either A, still be there in the morning, or B, produce more of an income? And that's, Charles Schwab preached, spend your extra on something that will give you extra. I think that was Schwab. I might be misattributing that. But anyway, the really intelligent people, Carnegie, Buffett, Rockefeller, those people, that class of thought, that's what they did. Andrew Carnegie started out as a deckhand on a steel shipping boat and bought stock on the boat. When they'd hand him a paycheck, they were feeding him and giving him a room. He was on the ship. Whenever they'd give him a paycheck, all of his bills were paid. So he would just hand it back to him and say, I want to buy some steel. And when he got off the boat, he owned like 4% or 5% of the, if I'm remembering that correctly, of the stock of the ship. And when they unloaded it, he got a massive paycheck. Bigger than all of the paychecks that he had gotten on the 2-month trip or whatever on the way over. There's a lesson in that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
The balance depends on the person. Depends on what you want.
Yeah, if you want to go out Friday night and get hammered, that's the people who are going to go, woohoo, tell me what to spend my money on.
And honestly, I wouldn't recommend being one of those people, but there's nothing wrong with being one of those people. Not
now.
The thing is, all the money in the world is useless if you're unhappy. So, do the work you have to do to make yourself happy. That's the balance. Once you start losing happiness, you're working too much. Once you're not paying your bills, you're not working enough. Both of those things are going to make you unhappy. If you can't pay your bills and you lose your house, you're going to be unhappy. If you never have time to enjoy your house, you're going to be unhappy. So, the balance depends on the person. Some people are willing to work 80, 90, 100 hours a week.
Mhm.
Some people rather work 35, 40. And if you're okay with making $20,000 a year and that pays your bills and you're okay with that, then that's good for you. I'm not. But if that's what somebody wants to do, they can do it.
There was too much PBR, so God made a hipster. Too many bowler hats and horn-rimmed glasses, so God made a hipster. There were too many 15-hour-a-week jobs, so God made a hipster. Yeah, that's the other class that he left out. I absolutely agree with what you're saying there. But you skipped over one, and those are the people that are just not willing to work.
Those people
Those people.
should be left to their own devices.
Yes. And out of my wallet.
Exactly. My taxes should not pay for them. They can find somebody to support them.
Mm.
They can go to their local church. Usually will help them. But, yeah, I don't want them taking my tax money anymore.
Yeah. I would be absolutely happy if the lazy people were told, you can be on a government paycheck, you can be on the dole if you take that check for, in exchange, looking after the people that can't work.
That's an interesting idea.
Yeah.
You're saying pay the people who can work, who are just
But
being
don't want
lazy,
to. Right.
take care of the people who are
Who
actually
can't
disabled and
work.
can't work.
Right. I think that would cut down on the number of people who are just worthlessly
Wasting.
lazy, yeah. And give purpose to people who want to help people who can't help themselves. That gives a dignity to both.
I would gladly spend my taxes on that.
Right on.
It's pretty dope, yeah.
Thank you.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
It's actually a really good idea.
Thank you.
We'd need some oversight, though.
Oh, yeah.
Quite a bit.
Yeah.
I'm not usually a fan of more government. That would need a lot of oversight.
That would probably cut down on the amount of oversight needed and shrink the size of government, right?
It would
Because if
definitely-
somebody can't work, like Elizabethan poor is what I'm saying, you know, that kind of a definition.
Right.
If they can't work and can't earn and need help, somebody from the community will notice if they're not being helped. And then there's this tap that person from the community can open and say, hey. So the oversight is built into the societal structure.
It would shrink the welfare state a little.
Mm-hmm.
It would.
Mhm.
But we would have to have those people inspected regularly.
Oh,
We'd
yeah,
have to
yeah,
add
yeah,
regulation to it, is what I'm saying.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't just trust. I wouldn't
absolutely
trust
agree.
just somebody who's not even willing to work for themselves to take care
To
of somebody
show
who
up and
can't
work. Right.
So as long as there was oversight, and I mean that would reduce the welfare state quite a bit,
Mhm.
because those people don't want to work,
Right.
and that's hard work.
Yeah.
So they'll go flip burgers.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or be a barista 12 hours a week instead of 8. And I'm not ripping on baristas.
Well, I mean, Black Rifle Coffee Company.
Yeah. Yeah. Black
I wouldn't-
coffee matters.
I
Is that their thing?
wouldn't rip on Black Rifle Coffee Company. I mean, that's Matt Best and all those,
Yeah.
veterans
Oh, yeah.
for special operations.
Yeah, I'm not ripping on them at all.
Those guys are baristas. They can do their thing.
Is that a barista?
Yeah, they have baristas. They
Okay. I thought they had, I didn't know they had a shop.
They do. They have a
Nice.
shop, and they also. What's the
My
other
barista
company?
could kick your barista's ass.
There's another gun company barista that I can't remember what it is. I
Wow.
saw it on Calling on Noir.
Nice.
The second one. The other one I just know was like, well, I'm at best.
Yeah. Oh, have a theory about Calling on Noir. how he got his name. Because in the Joe Rogan interview, he wasn't sure. He walked in the room after he started shooting. It started shooting as a hobby, and his buddy was like, "Kill a Corleone." That's a reference to the Godfather, the Corleone family, enunciated through one of his friends. That was, that's my theory. But I don't know how he didn't put that together. Like, he's a sharp dude.
Maybe he's not a Godfather fan?
Could be. Now, I would be surprised by that, but I could see
He's
that.
younger.
And he just never put it together.
He's younger.
I always forget that. He's about your age, isn't he?
He's younger than me. Pretty sure.
What?
No, he's. I think he's like
30s.
30. I think he's right around 30. So yeah, he's my age.
God, I feel like such a slacker. What have you done with your life, Dan? I build stuff and float on the river.
How do you think I feel?
Make food. Well, yeah, but you have kids. That's an accomplishment.
But I'm 31 and I work at Domino's.
And you're in school to be a programmer.
That's true, but I didn't start that until a year ago.
You started that when you were like, what does this button do? Bloop, bloop, bloop.
That's basically what programmers do in the say. I'm fairly certain.
And
right?
they put their elbows out and point their fingers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we definitely
Chicken peck at the keyboard. Yeah.
I call that the Columbus typing method. It's like Mavis Beacon and then Columbus. First I find it and then I land on it. Then I figure out if it's where I want to be.
It's pretty good. Pretty clever.
I like that one.
Sorry for I'm not a programmer.
Sorry for the programmers, out there.
I'm not. Keep up the good work, guys. You're welcome. I'm not your competition. You're welcome. I'm not in your PR department either. We have guys that sit behind desks and go bloop, bloop, bloop. Do you? Do they put their elbows out and type like that? We do. They work cheap. I'll bet they do.
Yeah, what have they created? I wouldn't even ask that question. I wouldn't be that curious.
No.
I mean, I would. I'd be really interested in how far they've gotten after 2 years of working.
That's an infinite number of monkeys behind an infinite number of typewriters will eventually write Shakespeare.
I mean, soon enough.
You know how much Shakespeare you'd have to sift through and get the shakes out, and no. I wonder.
That's where comedy comes in, because you take out that Shakespeare and now people laugh at it.
Yeah.
And then boom.
Yeah, the absurdity of
Profit.
the room existing. God, that was a nerd joke. Carl Sagan laughing at a bunch of programmers. That's just, we went down a weird hole there.
Nerd.
Well, yeah, true. Nerd. Own it.
I'm proud of being a nerd. I'm also a dangerous nerd, by the way. But I'm a nerd.
You don't fuck with him.
No, you can.
Depends on who you are.
Yeah, it depends on who you are and how interesting you want your life to be. I mean, that's... Okay. I've had the sorry conversation with this guy, so I can bring this up. When I was in high school, I had some friends that when we hung out, occasionally you would need an alias. So I did.
I feel like you're skipping over something.
So
I am. I very much am.
Okay, then continue.
Okay. We might circle back. We probably won't. Man.
Proceed.
And I had another friend from my old. I moved in the 8th grade, so from my old school, and his name was Carl Welsh, and he was a really great guy. He was smart, funny, but his life just seemed boring to me at the time. So, just to make his life more interesting, anytime somebody was like, "Oh, what's your name?" I'd go Carl Welsh, and that went on from about 15 to about 22. And
22, Dan? 22.
yeah, I started to mellow out about 22. I didn't think I was going to make it to 21. I really didn't, man.
What have you done to this poor man, Carl Walsh?
Welsh.
Welsh.
Yeah, Welsh.
Oh, Welsh.
If this podcast goes out anywhere, I'm fixing what I've done with Carl Welsh, but it was all, shady, questionable, petty, getting away type stuff,
This stuff that makes people angry.
Yeah, but doesn't really necessarily hurt anybody, just, yeah. So,
Things accumulate, Dan.
they do. And before it hit a tipping point, I quit using his name. So at about 26 or 27, I ran into him one day while I was home. I said, hey, just so you know, and I want to kind of make this right, I use your name anytime you do that. So, there's anything that's going on with it, go ahead and give my name. And, if anybody accuses you of any kind of larceny or whatever, just direct them to me and I'll take care of it. Don't know that I'll confess to it because, I don't remember a lot. But, sorry. And his eyes got about as big as tea saucers. And he said, that explains so much. I said, yeah, that's why I'm apologizing. He says, no. You said you thought it was boring for me, and it was. That was really interesting. I felt worse after I apologized than before. It was bad.
This is why we need video so the listeners can see the look that I'm giving Dan right now.
Yeah.
Oh, what the... Okay.
If it were a literal thing, me using Carl Welsh's name would have been about like Spock grabbing the red shirt and throwing him in front of the laser blast and screaming, "Save yourself!" But instead of "Save yourself," it was Carl Welsh. Yeah, he had the cops following him around, and I didn't do anything in Heron under his name. Because that was where he lived, and I'm only going to crap on the guy's front door. I'm going to go out of town where nobody's going to know Carl Welsh
until he's there.
I cross paths with him, and they're like, "You kind of look like this guy that set my porch on fire one time because we got into a fist fight." Well, don't pick a fist fight with Carl Welsh,
Okay. Moving on. Next question.
Are you sure I'm having a good time? Well, my last question is, so let's say that I'm in a hard time, just found out that I had to pay heavily on a debt that I owed, and I need to work my butt off. So there's really no other excuse for me not to work a lot of hours.
Mm-hmm.
How do I avoid burnout? How do I, or at least take preventative steps to push it off as much as possible if I can? What tips can you guys give me?
Work hard, work overtime, but take breaks.
Drink heavily and hang out with negative people.
What?
No.
Already done.
That was all not good advice. Anyone who heard that, no. But just no.
That's the wrong way to do it.
Work a lot in a week or 2 weeks, and then take a short break. Work a normal amount, and then go back to working hard. That way you make the overtime, you make the extra money you need, and you get at least a week break where you're just working normal. And then go right back at it.
I approach it a little differently. Let it hurt. Work the overtime. Put in the time. Sacrifice your social life. All things good, if there was an issue that you could have overlooked or could have sidestepped or could have gotten around or could have not made that bad decision in the past, and I know that's not always the case, but it's usually the case. So we'll address special cases later. Most of the time, when I've had a big debt come up that I had to pay, it was because I did something stupid. And when I'm right-minded, when I'm in a good place, emotionally and logically and all that stuff, okay, well, let's pay back our debts. Okay, well, let it hurt. Work until you get calluses and blisters. And then next time, because you worked 20 hours past your regular 40 that week, and you're going, oh my God, this sucks. Why did I do that? Remind yourself while you're working why you're working. And there is an end to it. If somebody says you owe this much, that's a goal now. Kick your own ass until you meet your goal. And then don't make the stupid decision again next time. And while you're working, you're not out making stupid decisions.
Where I disagree with you
Mm-hmm.
is the question was about burnout.
Mm-hmm.
So, you can do that,
Mm-hmm.
but then once you get your debt paid down, and you get to slow
Quit.
back down,
Yeah.
you're not going to want to do that job anymore. You switch jobs regularly. Not everybody wants to do that.
That's true.
If you want to keep doing the same job, you're going to have to do it the way I said. If you don't mind getting a new job, do it Dan's way.
Or working
Either way,
economy or something like that.
Either way, you're going to pay for your mistake.
Right.
And you're going to feel it. I can't tell you how many times it's happened to me.
What I have run into, though, is when I do that, put your nose to the grindstone and burn through it.
You still do that, just on my recommendation is to take a short break in the middle of doing it.
Often.
Because if you don't, you're going to hate your job and hate your life.
When I get the bill paid, I'm grateful to the job.
Yeah, that'll last about a week.
Yeah, that works for me.
For me, that would last
And
a
then,
week.
and then when
And then I'd be like, why do I have to go back to this place? I hate it so much. I've spent my entire life here, it feels like.
Right. Well, and then when I'm done, I take a break. So if I have to work 15 hours a week or whatever to meet my bills, and I'm scheduled usually 30, bill comes along, I work 40, 45, 60 until I get the bill paid off, rather than going back to 40 because I want to, and the first, 15 hours a week or because I have to, and the rest of it is because I want to. I'll go back down to, half of because I want to. So 30 hours a week, 32 hours a week for a while, and that is my break.
But not all jobs will allow that.
Not all jobs will allow that.
And
Gig
in fact,
economy, food
most
service, you should go by the numbers, but
Okay, I'm going to say career style job won't.
yeah.
But an actual
that's
job.
where you get into, you have a steady job, and that makes money to cover your bills. And then you have a side gig, driving an Uber, licking envelopes in your dining room, whatever. There's a million ways to do it. Just Google gig economy. There's stuff you can do, TaskRabbit, that kind of stuff. There's things you can do to make a little money every once in a while and supplement your career. Well, that's where you have the play that's where you have a variable in your income that you can control.
That's once you have a career.
Right. And then until you
What's
have a
going on
career.
with you right now, specifically,
Mm-hmm.
if you burn yourself out, you're going to be screwed at the end. So, okay.
Learn how to recover. Learn how to take time for yourself at the end of your day.
And, Dan's and my opinion on this, both of them are going to get you to where you need to be.
Mm-hmm.
You have to decide which one works best for you.
Yeah.
I couldn't do what Dan's talking about, where
I have a nearly obsessive type personality.
It's like we were talking about episode 4, I do believe, talking about the not the Army, the National Guard.
Mm-hmm.
How you were saying that you just had to either go all the way
Oh,
and
yeah,
finish it
yeah.
out instead of
Yeah.
just like taking intervals.
That same thing.
I definitely.
I actually agree
I
with
see
him on
that
that
again.
one, though.
Yeah.
But,
Well, that's a different scenario as well, but you know.
well,
Yeah,
you
his is ethics, mine is his personality. He has an actual like moral high ground there, and I'm just like, make it happen! Ah, this sucks. Get through it.
hey, you guys know how busy I am right now.
Mhm.
He does stuff for other people. I do shit for me.
If you include school and work, I'm working 75 hours a week right now, roughly.
Oh, more than that.
I'm just saying roughly, and if you include the time that I have to do things for my kids, and
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, those are happy,
okay,
though.
so
But yeah, you're putting
not all of them, but yeah, I'm putting in a lot of work, and I'm getting burned. How am I gonna fix that? Well, after I get caught up with all my bills, I'll take a break from work, like I just did.
He's gonna grab a knife and walk out the front door.
No, like I just did. I took a week off from school or from work, but still did my schoolwork. But I took a week off from work roughly. I went back to work because I was bored. But
Brother gotta eat. Oh my God.
yeah, I took a week off, so I'm feeling less burnt out now than I was before last week.
Gotcha.
So that's the point that I'm trying to make. Work as hard as you need to work to get done when you need to get done, but make sure to find breaks and find self-time in that time.
Mhm.
Otherwise, you will not want to go back to that job. Especially if you've been working at that job for 5 years already.
One more.
Don't stare at me like that.
Hey man, if it's one of the steps I got to take on this journey, I'll take it and smile. And I'm going to have fun while I'm doing it, whether or not that's appropriate.
Sometimes you just gotta make your own fun, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, I get sick and tired every time, like, Tina, like, comes in the morning, and I'm, like, you know, having a good time singing and dancing, and she's like, what's got you in a good mood? Just like...
Not you!
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, Melvin just comes to me, he's like, you know, happiness is overrated. Like, okay, how about a big middle finger while I'm smiling?
Right.
Dance away, yeah.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
God, I hate that.
Honestly, when Dan first started at Domino's, it was a completely different crew.
Oh yeah.
It was a completely different style of work.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't work.
It really wasn't. And I walked into it with this kind of a blue-collar corporate mentality out of the project management thing. Because I had just gone, you know what, this sucks. I'm going back to school and bust through the glass ceiling and all that stuff. And so I showed up with work, and this is the way I'm going to do it. You know, teach me, and I'm going to make this happen. And walked into it with that same zeal and rigidity.
And then he got in my car.
Yeah, it's like it's pizza, man.
First night,
You're not building a hospital.
first night we were working together, he was riding with me, and we just started talking about how hilarious it was, because we figured out we're both of Viking descent pretty early.
Mhm.
So we discussed how hilarious it would be to make a longboat car to deliver pizzas. First night he was working with me.
Mm.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, dude.
He went from being that rigid corporate mentality to, by the end of the night, riding around in my car talking about building a Viking longboat car to deliver pizzas.
Mm-hmm. That I would then be buried in. Well, Viking off
So down the road, burning.
into the water. Yeah, I'm gonna have a Viking funeral. By the way, that's the plan.
Me too.
You know. Yeah. Okay. I think we've talked about that.
Yeah, I think we both. Yeah, we both said we want that. If we can find somewhere where they'll let us get burned in the water, but
We're no. Not if. We'll
Going to the
figure
ocean.
it happen. Yeah. Yeah. It'll happen. We'll make it happen. Yeah.
we're gonna need a good archer.
No, dude. This is okay. I'm going to be stuffed, right? 3-day party ahead of, live bands, good times. And then when everybody's really good and liquored up at the end of the 3rd day, like after sunset, they launch me into the boat, take the drink that I've had in my hand, because I'm stuffed, right?
Right, yeah.
Take that out so that I'm holding a prop so I look like a party goer. Leave the hat on with the horns, because that stays, right? And then stuff a sword in where the drink used to be. And, launch me onto the boat, and that'll get it kind of unmoored and moving out into the water. It will be soaked in diesel, or whatever. And then all of the drunk partygoers, who will be outside anyway watching, will be given bottle rockets as party favors, and that's how it gets lit. I figure if I have 200 people show up and I give everybody 144,
one of them's going to...
somebody's going to light that boat on fire. And I'm going to use wooden shields instead of brass, and that way they'll soak up a little bit and they'll be more flammable. Just, so that we're not bouncing bottle rockets off of my boat when we're trying to light it, because that's just tacky.
Yeah.
Well, fortunately, you know that I
hate
can
when that
drink, so
happens.
if you die before me, I'll get you lit.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Ditto.
There we go. I mean, I'll be there, but
Yeah, you might have to light us both.
I'm just gonna.
Yeah,
both
depending on
die,
how
like,
it
the
plays
same
out,
time,
man, we might,
just-
Hey, me and Dan
race off.
sometimes can get in trouble.
Yeah.
And if I didn't run an end every once in a while, we'd probably already be dead.
Yeah.
Just the wide-eyed. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking back. There's a few turns we made that could have very easily put us in a ditch. And I was not driving. I had my foot on the gas, but I was not in control of the car.
All right.
So I actually, you guys were talking about like the careers and then like little side, things to earn a little
Gigs.
cash, little side gigs, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was really curious. What is your definition, each of you, if it's different, of a career? And that'll determine my next question.
a career,
Mm-hmm.
to me, is when you move beyond the standard franchise type jobs and you master a trade. And then you get paid for that trade. So, a nurse, doctor, even cops,
Accountants, doctors,
accountants.
lawyers.
That's a good way to put it.
programmers, engineers, architects, draftsmen, carpenters.
Plumbers, electricians, all of the building trades. Truck drivers.
Those are careers.
Yeah, that's a career.
Jobs are dominoes.
Mm-hmm. Here's your pile of worship. Get to shoveling.
Parties.
That's a job.
And then gigs are, my neighbor needs his mowed lawn. I'll do it for $30.
Mm-hmm.
Can you repeat that line,
Lawn
please?
mowed.
There you
Mowed
go.
lawn. Needs his
He
mowed lawn.
needs a mowed lawn, and he didn't have one right now, so I'm going to go
Right.
make one.
Yeah.
In his yard.
Yeah, that's
Verbal gymnastics.
I'm not even gonna go into the class that I'm in right now, but it's fried my brain. And not because
Oh,
it's
yeah.
interesting. Not because it's interesting.
Probably because it's not interesting.
Oh god,
What is it?
Arts 100. I just went from a 200 class to a 100 class. Makes no sense. But it's Arts 100. It's horrible.
What is it? Is it like how to appreciate art?
Yes, and I
No, those are the worst.
am not artsy.
I love art, but the classes
art?
are terrible.
The only art that I actually like, is
So?
architecture.
Fair enough.
Good, that's good art. I mean,
Don't get me wrong, I don't mind seeing a movie. I don't want to go to the theater.
What? Dude.
I used to build sets because I was in trades.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, work as a crew.
Mm-hmm.
That's my arts experience. I'm done. I'm good. I was a draftsman. That was fun.
That is interesting.
I built things. That was fun.
Mhm.
All right, I've done that now.
Check the box, move on.
I'm good. Now I'll...
There's just more art out there to appreciate, man.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I understand there's a lot of art out there.
It's just gorgeous.
How much do I care about it is the question.
But it's not about whether you care about it or not. It's you need to give these people what they deserve. This person worked hard on this painting. You will appreciate it.
You know what?
Shove that painting up
Somebody who works 4 hours a week behind the coffee counter at Panera and thinks they're a hipster because they smoke cloves and splatter crap on a canvas. I'm going to give them exactly what they deserve as far as my time and attention goes. Here's your $1.25. Pour that faster. Thank you.
Now, like historical art, some of that I enjoy.
Mhm.
But I mean, my point is, it's my art tastes are limited.
Okay.
So, like
I get
dance,
that.
dance. Nope, don't care one bit.
Not even
Love
like
dancing.
Lord of the Dance.
Oh, I
Don't care.
love
Michael Flatley.
Don't care
Got it.
at all. Couldn't give,
Zero dookies.
and that's one of the things in this course, obviously.
Mm-hmm,
And I'm gonna have to grind my way through it.
There you go.
But get into samba. Samba's pretty
What?
good.
No,
Samba.
no.
It's okay. Baseball. I like watching baseball sometimes, but I prefer playing baseball.
That's how I am with all sports. Like,
That's how I
would
am with
rather dance
everything.
than watch a dancer.
I
Fair
can't
enough.
dance.
Oh, I
Learn.
love
It's-
dancing.
it's
No.
fun.
I love dancing.
No.
God.
grind
Two
off
left feet.
grind off all of the sharp edges on your shoes, and then
go.
go.
Yes. You know what, Mark? I'm going to
No.
buy a Nintendo Switch and the newest Just Dance, and I'm going to have you come
No.
over, and we are going to have so
No.
much
Don't
fun.
dance.
You're gonna wake up in the back of a van with a chloroform hangover. I'm gonna show you to a bar where there's some hot chicks that are kind of your type, and I'm gonna go, "Hey, you don't know how to dance," and then I'm gonna leave.
Yes. Yes. I'm also going to be like the guy at like the end of the bar who's like hats low, sipping, just watching.
That's almost creepy. Just to make sure it happens.
Just to
though?
make sure it happens.
Okay,
You
thank
guys-
for finishing that.
Yes, of course. Sorry.
You guys are my friends,
Uh-huh. Yes.
brothers, and I love you guys.
Right on, bro.
Uh-huh.
But no.
That's why we're looking out for you, man.
Hey, this is why we're
No.
doing it.
You got no say in this. We love you.
Listen, we were talking about
Good luck.
We're
experience.
gonna love the shit out of you.
We were talking about experience. You need this experience.
I'm good.
You'll be happy when it's over. I realize that's the line that the dentist uses when he comes at you with the 28 gauge needle. But, you know, it is fun. And I'm not a good dancer.
I'm a horrible dancer. I have no rhythm.
Listen,
Mm.
you don't have to be good at something to enjoy it.
Just
That's true.
no. That depends on your personality.
Driving.
Completely.
Oh, I love
There are
driving.
a lot of people who love driving that should not be on the
I am
road.
a terrible
but that's
driver.
their personality.
Parenting.
That's their personality. They might be okay with that. Not me. If I'm doing something, I'm
Okay, but dancing
Good.
is not the same as barreling down the interstate, putting on your eye makeup when you're on the phone, reading the newspaper, and shaving. I once saw, and this was outside of Olathe, Kansas. Yeah. I once saw a van being driven by a head of lettuce outside of Olathe, Kansas. And I passed him, drove in front of him, looked at him in the rearview mirror, almost ran off the road watching it. Let him pass me. I saw, I don't know, it might have been the magic trick like on YouTube where the guy goes through the drive-thru dressed as the chair. Dressed as
Oh,
the
yeah,
car
that's
seat.
cool.
Yeah. But no, it was just a head of lettuce sitting on a dash of like a 78 Chevy van.
I love it.
Yeah, it was odd.
No, my question is what was the point of this? What are you getting
He
at?
shouldn't be driving.
Oh.
That's different from somebody shouldn't be dancing. If a head of lettuce drives the car into the guardrail and kills 15 people, that's somebody's fault. If you step on somebody's toes, they're going to walk away and go, "Oh, I'm not going to dance with him anymore."
Have you seen me?
No, because you don't dance.
No. Have you seen me? Do you really think someone's going to survive me standing
Have
on
you
their toes?
seen Mark Cuban's? He used to teach samba classes.
Mm-hmm.
You think that was pretty starting out? I'll bet not.
Mm-hmm.
He's like 6'4", and I mean, he's a basketball player, linebacker,
Doing the samba.
doing the samba.
The samba.
Good for him. I
Samba
won't
de la salsa.
put in the commitment needed to actually become good at it.
It's okay, because we'll do it for you.
This
It's
sounds like
motivating.
slavery.
No, it's motivation.
No. It's motivation.
Yeah. I don't have any chloroform right now. You're good.
For now.
No chloroform, no baby powder. I think we're good right now.
Yeah, okay.
You don't have to worry about it at this moment.
I don't even.
But I would prepare if I were you.
Guarantee you he has baby powder. Surprised he doesn't have chloroform. In fact,
Well, you got him reaching now.
but he's got it.
Oh, well. We just haven't used it yet.
He wouldn't have.
You just
baby
need to
powder.
prepare. Hey,
If you don't have baby powder on, you need to buy some. That's stupid.
not
I'm not
on
gonna
me.
give you mine. I got mine. You get yours.
What? I don't have it on me. It's at the apartment.
You don't have any at the apartment.
What do you mean I don't have it at the apartment?
That's
It is in a first aid kit
Yeah.
that is in a drawer in the bathroom.
We're gonna play this back. Your voice got higher by at least a half.
And you had a smile.
Yeah.
You don't
I'm
know that
always
for sure.
smiling.
You're thinking, I know you
And
are.
you're
But that was
So
a
you're
smirk.
saying that I'm always
No,
lying?
that was a smirk.
a smirk.
That was a lying smirk.
I think this is a
And
bunch
I
of
guarantee you don't have any baby powder or body powder on.
bull. This is a bunch of garbo. I don't believe
Do you
this.
agree?
I agree. He's
I'm
not
the
using
one asking the
contractions.
questions here. I'm the one interrogating.
Yeah.
This is my interview. I'm a pissed off reporter. You can't do this to me.
Why are you in the country? Why are you in the country? What are your intentions? What are your intentions, man?
My point still stands. If you don't have any body powder or baby powder, you need to get some.
Yeah.
You can
I
get,
mean, I'll
you can
tell
get-
that to a friend who doesn't have that.
you can get
so-
medicated body powder at the Dollar Tree for $1.
at
Or
our Amazon.
yes,
thingy.
at the Amazon store,
Mhm.
one of us will make that happen.
Definitely include
before-
that for you guys to get.
Yes, hygiene products. It's between the beard oil and the toenail clippers,
Because those are important.
literally. No, just chronological application, top to
All right.
Or you just find drywall from before 1974 and grind it up real fine. Leave the threads
There we
in
go.
it, you're fine.
Nice. I've worked with plenty of
A disclaimer.
drywall. That definitely doesn't work.
Don't always do what Dan says. Very simple.
Yeah. My entire point here is you need to weigh out everything everyone says, even, probably especially, me.
That's the disclaimer.
Yeah. Don't use asbestos as ball powder.
Yeah, that.
Yeah. That.
I mean, unless you're into that kind of stuff, then,
You're still
more
going to
power
regret it.
to you.
You know
but-
what? Mazel, just stay downwind from me, man.
I think you're going to regret it. Either way.
Yeah.
Don't let us be in the way of your stupidity. Just,
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that stupid people should be allowed to be stupid so that we don't have to deal with them anymore. But,
you go win the Darwin Award if you want to. I'm just
yeah,
I'm just giving advice.
I'm not a fan of how nerfed we've made the world.
Yeah.
It's irresponsible people. It's our fault.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
No,
it's our
the
fault.
whiny people who are like,
No. See, and it started with responsible people being like, okay, this guy mightn't to wear a helmet.
okay, and they weren't good dads. Because a good dad would say, he'll only do it once.
No. I'm saying responsible people. Being responsible for the community, not dads. That's a problem, obviously.
Right.
Hence.
Right. I mean, there's a difference between letting your cabbage go run errands for you in the van and, like, whoever did that probably needs to not have a van anymore. Okay.
That's not where you were originally going with that.
Right.
You said that.
I don't know how to string those words together, but we know what we're trying to accomplish. Let's go make it happen. But as far as, Purell on everything's coated in this light slathering of...
Oh, don't tell me you don't want Purell on everything. I see how much you use hand sanitizer.
Dude, I handle money that has blood and snot on it from people who bought pizza at 4 a.m. because they were too high to drive.
So do I, and I don't use as much hand sanitizer as you do. And
I touch my eyes without thinking about it. And I'm weird about that stuff, man. I do use a lot of hand sanitizer, but look at my car, my beater that I used to deliver pizzas in.
It's pretty sweet.
Right? I love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it.
I'm glad to see that one's back.
Yeah, me too.
Is it running again?
It is.
Oh,
it is, yeah.
It's pretty dope.
It had a vacuum leak, which is a problem on a turbo.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It had been so long since I had a turbo car that, or driven a turbo car, that I forgot you had to put high octane gas in it. So it ran hot for a little while.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
You were putting 87 in it?
Yeah, 89 with an octane boost. Now I'm doing 93 with 2 octane boosts. And it's singing like a sewing machine. But yeah. That car obviously isn't sanitary.
No.
No. Between the horse blankets that were in it when I got it and what I'm pretty sure is lamb's blood in the back seat, I'm just basing that on I can't get it out with simple group.
But if I go look in your car, there's sanitizer, isn't there?
Not in that one. No, not now.
Ooh.
I'm out. I use it all.
There it is.
Until you buy more.
Yeah. Which I haven't gone to do. So I'm getting better about that stuff.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Like now you don't suddenly feel like you want to run out and go buy some hand sanitizer?
I'm good.
Alright.
Hey, his itch isn't itching right now. It's alright.
Left eye's not twitching.
You haven't known him as long as I have.
Well, I mean...
This is weird.
I'm feeling better. I am.
Alright.
I'm
There's
glad
a little bit of displacement.
I'm glad you're carrying of your sickness of avoiding sickness.
No, he's just
The germ
OCD.
problem.
It's just OCD.
No, it's OCD. Okay.
Yeah, there's some of that.
He is OCD. Certain OCDs. He's not OCD about everything.
There's certain things that I just don't give a shit about. And then there's some stuff that it just about has to be perfect. I've been working on it. You're looking at my stack of...
Would you hand me that book?
Which one?
The short one that just says gun.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's a good cutoff.
Mark, did you have any comments that you wanted to add before we...
Well, now I'm looking at the book.
Yeah, well,
He's already moved on.
yeah.
I'm good.
He's washed.
Bye, guys.
And that concludes this week's episode of Man School Podcast. Thank you guys for sitting with us, and be sure to give us constructive feedback or a question of your own at manschoolpodcast@gmail.com. That's manschoolpodcast@gmail.com, all lowercase. Thanks again, and always think for yourself.
I wish we could have a sponsor already.
We don't need it. We don't need it. We have a sponsor. It's us.
Right, but I want to talk about Dollar Shave Club.
Okay.
It's amazing. They pay podcasters to talk about them, and so we're not going to talk about them until they pay us.
Okay.
But Dollar Shave Club's amazing. I mean, I spend $9 a month, and they always send me new plates. I never have to worry about it. It's awesome.
It works.
If you shave your face, you want Dollar Shave Club. And
Oh my God.
the Dr. Carver
Specifically
shave,
your face.
it works everywhere.
Nice.
well. And it's a 6-blade razor, so you don't have to worry about really.
Yeah, nipples. That's
Oh yeah, be careful on your nipples.
yeah.
But you get the Dr. Cover's shave butter, and it's clear, so you can see where you're working.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I just use ghee. That's a joke.
I'm sorry, I didn't get it.
Yeah, but probably better. Ghee is clarified butter.
Oh,
Yeah, it's invisible when you smear it on things. So,
that's hilarious.
thank you.
Now that I understand that was funny.
Now, sorry.
Life of an intelligent jokester. It's just.
Yeah.